Welcome back. Now, the Railways has rolled out a major policy reform aimed at boosting efficiency and innovation in freight transportation. Now, in a significant move, industries will now be allowed to design freight wagons tailored to their specific operational requirement. We are now being joined by Vivek Lohia, who is the Managing Director at Jupiter Wagons, who, as they have very recently bagged orders from JSW Rail. Vivek, good morning. Thank you for taking out time. Firstly, if you could tell us more about this order from JSW, the execution timelines, how margin accretive is it, when does it start accruing for you, and of course on this new policy as well, what is the kind of what is the kind of impact that you see as a result of this reform?
Good morning. The JSW order is basically in continuation of the private order book, which we are building up. As you are aware, Jupiter, if you look at order books, about more than 50% of our order book is on the private side. And this order, we have to execute it in this financial year itself. And we expect further orders from JSW. So they're expanding their steel portfolio. So in that lines, they're going to build up further on their transportation portfolio. So we expect further orders down the line. And as you rightly said, this move by Indian Railways to allow us to bring in our own designs, this is something which the industry has been pushing for a long time. Because unlike in the past, where the industry wasn't that focused, so it was like one product fits all kind of a thing. But now, as you see more and more private sector participation and more private players directly procuring wagons, and that population has shot up dramatically in the last 3 to 4 years. Close to about 1 lakh wagons have been procured by the private sector, and which the percentage is going steadily. So I think this will go a long way in bringing in more private participation and more sectors. Now you can bring into the fold of the railway freight transportation. Recently, we, along with GATX, we designed a completely new wagon for carrying auto cars, which was itself a revolution, and that has resulted in Maruti giving us a sizable order. And now we are in the process of developing three, four more designs. And I think this is going to be a transformative move for the sector. And we have to thank the railway minister for his vision. And the honorable prime minister has been very clear under his Gati Shakti scheme that railway has to be a key driver in the logistics sector.
Mm. You know, Vivek, since you mentioned that recently you've also entered into a strategic partnership as well, right, with this global rolling stock player to enter into this passenger and the metro rail segment as well. What's the status of this partnership? When do you start bidding, or have you already bid for a few metro or Vande Bharat projects?
So this partnership is we are going to be firming up very shortly. So it's by the end of the year only itself we'll start bidding for the projects. But in the meantime, we are also exploring the export markets, and we believe we have a strong belief that before the end of the year, because of this partnership, we will be developing a lot of products, especially on the coaching side, for the global market. Because they have a huge order book, and for them it's a huge challenge right now in terms of delivering. So I think that is something which we are definitely looking forward to, because compared to the Indian market, if you look at the global market, it's much more revenue accretive. So that is where more of our focus is.
Vivek, you spoke about the JSW order, the Maruti order, and the fact that these private orders are making a larger portion of your book. Does that also mean, a better revenue, a higher margin for the year? If you could give us a guidance on that, and that's on the private front. Also on, the Indian Railways, the wagon tenders for FY27 being floated. Have you heard, and what kind of market share are you targeting on that segment?
So, see, the private orders do make up a sizable pool, and definitely compared to the Indian Railway orders, they are much more revenue accretive. And the JSW order is also in line with the EBITDA numbers which we have been delivering. But definitely the key driver will be the Indian Railway tenders, which we are expecting this year. As you're aware, the last major tender was in 2022. So post that, there has not been any sizable tender which has come out from Indian Railways. And this year we expect the sizable tender to come out, because again, as per the policy decision, their tenders are again going to be structured for supplies which they need over the next 3 years, so that the industry gets the visibility and can plan accordingly. So definitely we expect a big order book, and Jupiter being one of the leading players, definitely we are going to get one of the biggest shares in that tender pie.
Vivek, so just to sum up for FY27, if you could give us your guidance on what the order book could look like, the opportunity from, this new policy, and, what kind of higher margins could you target?
So, overall, in terms of the guidance, it also depends a lot on the timing of the tender. We expect the railway tender to be, maybe before the end of next quarter, we can expect the tender to come. If and when the railway tender comes, as per expectation, I think we are going to close the year on a very, very strong note. On the private side, the order book is quite strong. We have an order book of close to 3,000 odd crores there. And we expect, the margins to be in line of what we are delivering. And as and when the railway order book comes, definitely you will see a big uptake on the margins, because we'll be able to utilize the infrastructure much better. And beyond that also, in terms of the diversification which we are doing within the railway portfolio, our wheel and axle facility which we are setting up in Orissa will be online next year. There itself, we have entered into an agreement with Tatra Wagon, which is the biggest player in the European market, where they have committed to lifting about close to half the capacity which we are going to be setting up. So as a group, next 2-3 years, it's going to be quite diversified, and we are going to be quite integrated, both backward and now with our own designs. With future wagons, it'll be a very strong backward and forward integration.
Vivek, pleasure having you today. Thank you for sparing time and joining us. Wish you good luck for the rest of the year as well.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV18 on all of our digital platforms.